got to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, machines going crazy, pop machines throwing cans at people. How cool is that?
That was something else for that time period.
I loved it. You know, I guess you give me a movie where machines revolt, and you're going to get my dollar to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably not much more than $1, but you know, I'll pirate it somewhere.
Yeah, isn't that something? AC/DC has been around long enough. I watched them on VH1 get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they're hanging out in Cleveland now.
Yeah,
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. That's cool. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't think of a band more deserving than AC/DC to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the hits they've had, and you know, the ones that pop to mind, of course, is Who Made Who, You Shook Me All Night Long, Back in Black, Thunderstruck. I could just keep going and going. Money Talks. I mean, they have sustained, you know, well into their touring still today.
Yeah, serious longevity.
Yeah, so most bands could be, you know, count themselves half as lucky if they could stick around a quarter of the time. Unbelievable. No one-hit wonder there. Now, that takes us full circle back to a one-hit wonder and another Chris Ryan tasty treat for your Sunday Night 80s Alive. Let us know all about it, Chris.
Late 80s tune, band called the Cane Gang, and a little song about Detroit and American car building. But it was a pop rock hit, and as you said, a one-hit wonder, their one and only hit.
And the name of it was?
Motortown by the Cane Gang.
The Motown song, so to speak. And there you go, Chris Ryan, your one-hit wonder for this portion of the show.
You got it made in Motortown. How many folks out on the road can say that these days?
You're absolutely right. Hey, you buy American, you can.
You bet.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah.
1021, 53 degrees. Some great requests coming up. Pseudo-Echo version. They did a version of Funky Town. We're going to spin that one here in a few moments. Also, Bust a Move, Your Mama Don't Dance, Church of the Poison Mind. Great request to get to. And, of course, you're going to have another tasty morsel for us right around the corner?
Mm-hmm.
You promise? Come on, say it. Say it.
Yep, cross my heart.
Boy, he's tough to commit, huh?
It's in downtown Richland Center. The place to stop for real home-style cooking and value specials. WRCO.
Monday on You Again, Henry's dating a younger woman.
It's Punky Brewster.
But with competition from his son, he's in for a fast ride on the premiere of You Again. Then Valerie Harper stars in TV's most scrambled family.
Eggs on parade! Alley-oop!
It's Valerie.
Monday.
Wow, remember that one, Chris Ryan?
Yes, I do.
It's Valerie on Monday. I always wanted to be that TV guy. Not on TV, I just wanted to be the announcer.
Yeah, that or the time temperature person, you know.
Oh, that'd be
on
cool.
The telephone would be a good gig.
You know what else would be pretty decent? I don't think you even need the FCC license for this, is to be the movie phone person. If you know the name of the movie, press 1 now.
Yeah.
You have chosen, you know, Pretty in Pink. If that's correct, press 1. And you press 1, and then basically they tell you, that movie's showing at the multi-10plex. 7:45.
Yeah, except for, as we said before, back then, hopefully it would be at the outdoor theater.
Yeah, that's the only way to see it. So, I tell you what, that was a good little memory there, looking back to NBC television. Some of the great shows from the 1980s, you think about it, had a chance to be on NBC. The Cosby Show, that was one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, that Thursday night lineup for so many years was awesome.
Cosby, Seinfeld, Friends started in, they moved into the Thursday slot now as you got into the 90s. I think back to some other NBC shows, Silver Spoons, that was just on there as well. Punky Brewster was. On the weekends, Saved by the Bell, that was owned by the NBC parent company of the 1980s, and unbelievable television.
Yeah, of course, ER, has been a big thing for many years, but before that, St. Elsewhere, I used to watch that.
Yeah.
Hill Street Blues.
L.A. Law. NBC, they knew how to do the shows, didn't they?
You bet. Yeah.
Great memories. Okay, now that I'm feeling really old.
Yeah, dating ourselves.
Oh, boy, and that's not much fun. This one's going out to Levi from Aunt Rachel. This is Bust a Move, y'all.
Bust it.
I just felt like jumping in there and saying that. Move it, boy. 10:29, 52 degrees. This is 80s Alive on WRCO FM. Adam Hess with you. Don't forget, between now and 11 o'clock, your chance to win some more great prizes as we'll be playing some trivia. And also your favorite request at 647-4155. Another tasty 80s memory treat with Chris Ryan right around the corner. And this is the 1987 version going out by request of Funky Town. Of course, Lips Incorporated did it back in, I believe it was 80, 81, 82, somewhere in there. This is the remake for Dave. He's hard at work cleaning tonight. Nothing says cleaning like Funky Town. Pseudo-Echo on 80s Alive. You know, that's some pretty good advice there, Chris Ryan. Gotta move on.
Gotta move on.
I thought you were going to sing there for a moment for us.
No.
You started to.
Well, yeah, off mic. Yeah.
We'll leave it at that, huh?
Yeah.
10:33 is the time as we rock on through your Sunday night. We do it each and every Sunday night right here on the radio, 7 until midnight, 80s Alive from WRCO FM, and a very comfortable 52 degrees. Speaking of comfortable, I was thinking, and we were talking during that last song, 80s fashions, and I was thinking what was the most comfortable outfit I had in the 80s. Probably my Air Jordans. I don't know if you remember, they were actually like a canvas-type pant that I wore. They were like a warm-up suit that Michael Jordan hawked through Nike. I loved my Air Jordans with my Jordache tennies.
Yeah, that was
styling.
Quite the outfit. I had a friend that I went to school with. I mean, obviously, I didn't know you then,
right?
And so I didn't see you model that. But
that's probably a good thing.
I did have a friend that wore that type of outfit. Yeah.
Did you ever get into the parachute pants?
No, but I also,
did.
you know, people in school wore those. There was one guy that
he's still wearing them to this day, probably.
Probably somewhere. You know, he was kind of a break dancer, and he did that kind of thing, and
right.
You know, that was his fashion statement.
Well, you had to wear the parachute pants if you were breakdancing for the simple fact that they actually produced less friction on the ground spinning than did, say, a twill or a cotton tweed. A blue jean type outfit. So, but I hear where you grew up, and that would be a little west of here, I believe, isn't it? Southeast.
Yeah,
southwest actually.
Yeah, tiny. Well, not tiny, but medium-sized town, about the size of Center. And
the rumor around that town was you were a Don Johnson wannabe.
Yeah,
he's gonna admit it.
Yeah, okay, I'll come clean.
It was so long ago.
Yeah, and as I said off air before, I do have blackmail photos. I didn't bring them along.
Of yourself, though.
Yeah.
Blackmail photos of yourself. Tell us about your typical blackmail outfit.
From about age 16, 17, just to about 18. Those were my comfortable threads. I had the white jacket, and then a variety of tank tops that would go underneath, or something kind of Hawaiian,
right?
And did the Miami Vice.
My goodness, Don Johnson though was like the coolest man on television.
Yeah, and the great looking shades I had.
Yeah,
and that was one of my. That brings up another memory. Halloween on State Street in the 80s was just something else. And I wore those threads up there, and, I wasn't really, dressing up in costume, but yet I was, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a 2-for right there.
Yeah.
You throw on the threads you normally wear, and all of a sudden it's a costume. You don't have to spend any money on a costume. That's pretty cool. That says, two things. Either, you're really thinking ahead, or, you may want to change your ensemble a bit for everyday use.
Yeah, it was a daily thing, pretty much.
Sounds like me with my my whole emulation of Michael Jackson. That was a phase I went through, and I'm sure there was probably some sort of medication for it. They never could probably make me take it, however. But I could moonwalk. Boy, could I could moonwalk. I threw in a little breakdancing in there, and I had this little routine down, probably 83, maybe 84, where I probably in my mind thought that I was Michael Jackson. I should probably had some help for that, I'm thinking.
I think so. It's like an evolution of outfits, because, that just reminded me that I went from the Don Johnson thing right into the metal, the ripped out jeans.
Ripped out jeans, long hair.
Concert T-shirt, all of a sudden
black leather jacket.
To the other. Yeah.
And I bet your black leather jacket had the belt on it, didn't it? It was the biker jacket, wasn't it?
Yep, yeah. And the boots, I had, friends that, had that same look and attitude.
Wow, from prep to rock.
Yep.
Hey, it's all about the 80s, man. That represents the 1980s right there. So, speaking of the 80s, we have another tasty treat coming up around the corner. And we also have a tasty treat from Sandy's. Your opportunity to win comes up next. We'll even give you some tickets to go see the hottest concert event of the summertime. All that and more on 80s Alive, including this request from Culture Club. You know what, Chris Ryan? There was a time where I thought Boy George was also like the coolest guy on earth.
Yeah, he had a fashion statement of his own.
Yeah, we'll leave it. I always used to, to be blunt, not that I ever dressed like Boy George or anything, but I always questioned his fashion statement. But in the 80s, you just accepted it. And I remember probably late 80s, it struck me. I'm like, he dresses like a girl.
Yeah.
But it didn't strike me until the late 80s. You know, here they were famous from, well, they broke in the music scene '83, I think, and I listened to them, and I watched Boy George and his Merry Band of Men from the early '80s up until the late '80s, and I never really thought that, his fashion was all that outrageous.
Yeah, and yet another band that was plastered all over MTV.
Yeah.
That
Some great music, though. Some
Yeah.
fantastic music, including Church of the Poison Mind by request tonight. It's 10:41, 51 degrees. And talk about some great fashion. I'm holding a CD right here. It's actually Simply Red's Greatest Hits.
Yep.
That's a great fashion statement on the front cover.
Oh, yeah. Mick Hucknall, he really knew how to dress.
Oh, that's an awesome suit. He's got the little dress collar, but no tie on. The collar's up over the jacket. The jacket is collarless. He is styling, and the music is profiling. You like that? That was my attempt at a little bit of a rhyme there. You're supposed to respond.
Yeah.
He's just like, whatever, Adam. Let me introduce the song.
No.
So, no, that's all right, Chris Ryan. Tell people about what they're going to hear, and I'm just going to turn my mic off. So good night, everybody.
Well, as you said, greatest hits. I mean, they hung around long enough. People think of Holding Back the Years, I think, is on that CD. Money's Too Tight to Mention, but I think track 3 is The Right Thing, and that was '89, I believe.
Okay, I'm back on the mic. I was just teasing y'all. Here it is. This is Simply Red.
Awesome.